Ho, ho, ho.
Ho ho! Merry
Ho, ho, ho.
Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. I haven't taken off the hat yet from Christmas, and it's actually quite nice to be Santa, because I think we should start with a disclaimer that you and I, we know each other quite for some time.
Yes, and I know that you also claim to be Santa, but you might not always be Santa. So from growing up, like going out to buy the newspaper, you know?
I go out to buy the newspaper, and here I am, still looking for newspaper.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, sort of, I think for everybody, as a disclaimer, I'm very happy to be interviewing my daughter, my eldest daughter, Eleanor, who is an alumni of Crunchfish. We are into the, what is it now? It must be, let's see, this is the third week of Cash Goes Digital, a payment pandemic. And the focus is on alumni, and this is really cool, Ellie, that you are volunteering for this, because I see your stuff at our company every day, because you made a lasting impression on us. Not the least the logo, you know, the cool logo.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a funny story to that as well. Because I remember that you came home and you showed me the Crunchfish logo as it was before. And I just looked at it and I was like, oh God, my design soul is dying. Like, this is not a Crunchfish, you know? So I had to fix it. And then that was kind of how I got involved.
Yeah, I actually kept that on my mobile phone as my screensaver. It was for probably 7 years. It was my screensaver. That because you draw it, I think, on it was a yellow piece of paper. Just and you said that this is a Crunchfish, and then and we didn't change it. I think that became. I think it was a really nice design with these sort of concentric circles. Yeah, very slick, and we got a lot of praise for it. So. But also, you know, this year we put out Merry Crunchfish and a bubbly new year, and I do remember who did that one.
Yeah, this was awesome.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. No, and in all our meeting rooms, there's a lot of things here that you've done for us, and yeah, we're grateful. How long? How many years did you do at Crunchfish?
I was at Crunchfish for 2 years.
Yeah.
Quite exactly, I think, maybe a little bit more.
And I know you said to me that I can't do this anymore, because what killed it was the sort of the Swedish sort of regulations on Öresundsbron, that you lived in Copenhagen and you couldn't take 1.5 or almost 2 hours commuting in each direction because of stupid border control.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I felt like I had given Crunchfish quite a lot of, you know, my own talent, and with this new border control, it was just too much. It was too much of my energy that was drawn from that.
Yeah,
so
no, I remember.
I was also ready to
move on
to something else. It felt like a sign from the universe, no, now we're putting a border between you and your work.
Yeah. No, it's I remember, and I know I told you, I understand fully. So it's but we had some good 2 years, because I think you were involved with something which you know, we were all in gestures, and we sort of started with something which was just really as a new thing. We started with what we called at that point a bubble, how you can connect with people around you, you know, and that whole business area using Bluetooth connection, beacons and Bluetooth, and it was absolutely new. And you know what? We still have gestures, obviously, but that is one solution area. And what we started there when you were with us, it's now 4 solution areas. It's now digital cash, it's now Blipit, it's food waste, and it's also what we actually call it nearby now. I never liked how we had to spell a bubble to get it approved. With you know, it's sort of the Swedish bubbla. We're putting an A in front instead. So, but it's actually 4 solution areas. So it's just exploded, really.
Yeah, and that's something that's quite wonderful about the technology, because I remember sitting there with Paul and with Christian, and they were hacking away, trying to make it really modular and scalable and really smart, and it's really a like technology that could be applied to so many different areas. Because what you're really building is a smart environment that is not necessarily like constricted to the physical. Like, even though it is within the physical, what was so clever about this was that you were using your own cell phone, and you were able to walk around and thus be mobile with your cell phone, and then also get information from your surroundings.
Yeah,
and from a user perspective, there's so much you can do with that.
I agree. And because I actually felt at that time that we actually took this was the next level for a mobile phone, because right now, connecting to the internet, if you think of it, if you see that the computer, or if you use your phone, you connect straight up to the internet, and that's what you do. But with this technology, you all of a sudden becoming truly mobile, and you're connecting to anything contextual which are around you, things and people, and I still love this area, and right now this we started applying for patents. You were there in these early days, and we actually have 13 innovations in this area, of which 12 has granted patents. So I think the portfolio is super strong. And guess what? On Christmas Day, I interviewed Dhruv. You met Dhruv when we danced around for the Holi party in.
I threw color on him, so I know him well.
Yeah, that's Dhruv. and he was sort of last week was India week, and we had Dhruv on the Christmas Day, and I'm actually seriously thinking whether Dhruv shouldn't pick up business development for the nearby or bubble area, because he sits in a market where they have scale. If you in Sweden we're not so many, but in India, if you can hit it off with some of these use cases. Do you remember some of these use cases? Because I remember you illustrated so many. Influenced by presence, I think, was one of your concepts.
Yeah, we had a very fun time. This was so early on in the phase, so we were quite experimental, and that was also something I loved at Crunchfish, that it was this very open, innovative culture where you could try things and see how they worked out. So some of the areas that we looked into, we made a collaborative playlist. So like sourcing songs and like music from the people around you to create the best playlist for those nearby.
Yeah, let's stay at that one, because Dhruv, actually, he's a DJ.
So he would love this.
This is cool, because when he was, his thesis, he was graduated from, a Bachelor of Arts, I think, from upstate New York, Saratoga Springs, I think he told me. And his thesis work was actually as a DJ, to get over Bluetooth requests coming in from the audience.
So that was one of the use cases.
But I told him, then you have to ask people to send in, they have to be active. I said to Dhruv, imagine this: you are the DJ, and you don't have to actually ask people to do anything, but just all the people being there, if we from, say, Spotify would pick up their favorite songs from the playlist that they have on Spotify, this is what you meant with this you remember that? Influenced by presence? That you influence the DJ, what he's going to play, but you're not asking anyone to do anything. They are just influencing his choice of playing music by the sheer presence. Cool thing.
Yeah. And there were also quite a lot of layers to it. So like one of them was just the presence. And then some was actually thinking about what kind of mood are you in? Like, is there types of music that you want to reflect your mood? And then also thinking about like the different layers of like having no interaction whatsoever, which would be by presence, but then maybe sometimes you want to go against your true nature, which would have been your influence by presence, and then you could have you actually could make active choices that would influence. So you could also go in and do that. And what I think will be very interesting with this is like combining it with other sources of data. So not just your music taste, but it could be other things as well. So this becomes one stream into actually making your world more beautiful and more catered to you.
Yeah. What other areas did we have? I remember we had dating. If you go to a bar, you know, you can't see who's single, but with our app, you would just take it up, you look at your screen, and all of a sudden you would be able to identify anyone single, and also maybe, you know, have specified their preference that they are, you know, I'm looking for someone aged 55 like me.
Yeah. Yeah, we like thought about that. And then I think this was also one of the use cases where payments actually started to become relevant, because then we thought, okay, maybe someone wants to send out a drink to someone, or, you know, like do this within the near context. But like dating was definitely one of them. And then, like I mentioned, we had this thing where you could like split a bill by like bringing 4 phones together, and then it would like automatically calculate this for you, so you didn't have to sit there with your calculators or doing it in your head, which most people are not that comfortable with. This was also one. I feel like we did so many things. We thought about the smart home a bit. Oh yeah, like the smart home, like we like thought about of how you could move between like devices. We did like networking, and there we actually did something cool with the Media Evolution yearly party. So everyone was walking around with the
6 Degrees app.
6 degrees, like that. Yeah. Yeah, that was what we called it. Because the idea was you're less than 6 degrees like away from anyone in the world. But like having this app, then you could actually see who was near you and be able to network. So you could tell these are these people's profiles, and then kind of like an augmented layer like on top of your world. And that I found to be super, super useful. And I always want this when I'm at conferences, and I'm just like, can apps just like you know, get this now?
Leave it with Dhruv, and he will bring it to life, I think.
Yeah, I think that was a very strong like use case that no one has done well yet.
I even called it because in a way it's a way, as you say, to augment reality, that you provide more information to reality than you can see with your physical senses. So you augment reality. And I even call this connected AR for a while, that because you can connect and communicate with people around you as well. So it is a lovely area. I really have to, now I am convinced, I think we have to push Dhruv, Santa Claus, for in the previous interview, that, and he wants to run with it. And I think because right now, I don't know, we haven't released our website yet, but we're gonna do very clearly 5 worlds. Crunchfish is a company of 5 worlds. It's digital cash, Blipit, food waste, nearby here, and gestures. And the one we're not really running with currently is nearby, that we just talked about. But it's super cool. We shouldn't forget about it, and we have all the patents in the world for it. 12 cool patents. So let's have fun.
I mean, I'm also happy to do a call with Dhruv to tell him what we were up to in the early days. If he wants to draw inspiration.
He did say hello though. I don't know if he did it on tape, but we were chatting before the call, and he was very happy that he had met you and Julia as well at the Holly party, even if you smeared the color in his face.
Yes, that's what you get.
That's what you get, yeah. But really, sort of, I know 2020 for many people has been a very difficult year, but I'm sort of tracking you right now. We not meet so much because you live in Copenhagen, and right now, you know, and they have had much of a quarantine, and you were thrown out of your apartment because they only come home, and right now you're in Barcelona, aren't you?
I'm in Barcelona, exactly. So I'm taking full advantage of COVID. Everyone's working remotely, and I'm like, perfect, then I can go to the sunshine.
I know. So you're not coming home for Christmas, I know that. No. Because but it's been a strange year, but I was impressed what you did with a girl you've never met before, organizing a team in the world's biggest hackathon for COVID. How do we hack this pandemic? And you have to just tell us what did you do? Because you have won all sorts of prizes for us, and it's just been an amazing journey for you. So just tell us.
Yeah, so Sophie and we are building like thoughtful technology to address domestic violence globally. And as you say, it's a huge problem right now. It's one of the few crimes that are actually increasing because of isolation, because of increased stress, because of the lockdowns, when people are at home. So if you live in an unsafe home, then violence tends to escalate, it tends to become more frequent. So we are building a rather ambitious project. And I think this is also why we're winning quite a lot of awards, where we build apps for the inhabitants, where we gather all support in one place and then connect that to a smart and scalable platform that is for the public sector and help organizations, also together with scientific researchers to get better data analysis and also cooperations around these issues. Because one of the big problems right now is that a lot of the efforts are focused in siloed areas, whereas this is a very common global problem. 1 in 3 women worldwide are impacted in her lifetime by sexual or like physical violence, which I was also surprised by. Like, I didn't know how common this was. And so we really need an international effort to like work with this. And it's been absolutely wonderful. I mean, we are like supported now by the EU Innovation Council. Like, they are giving us business coaches and helping us like navigate the EU system for how we can scale within Europe. We're getting support from Sweden's like Board of Equality, like Jämställdhetsmyndigheten, like helping us with like advice on how to think and who to talk to. We are setting up 2 pilots right now. One of them is in Helsingborg together with social services and the labor market to map out the needs there. And then now also with Stockholm. And we're going to do a pretty big like innovation workshop that will be like a national workshop with Stockholm. And now we're having super cool companies who want to work with us. So today we actually heard from Typeform, which is one of my favorite companies. They're a really good design company making these like Google forms sort of, but they're really beautifully designed and with good user experience. So they want to do a social impact drive with us in March, where we're going to work with their entire company for like 2 weeks. And they are like, I think 250 people and get access to their like 145 developers who will like build something with us. And we're just like, yes, let's do it.
What was the name of that company again? You said
Typeform. So, you know, when you type.
Okay, Typeform.
And it's a form. Yeah.
Okay. We'll have to look it
I
up.
highly recommend them. I will send you the link, and I think everyone should use them because they are great.
Yeah, you recommend.
Exactly. If you like design like I do, then yes, use them.
Yeah. No, I know you always, and it's great work you do. And I know you always love design, because I think from a long time, I remember we sitting, maybe on the train to Malmö, and if you see an ad, this was just a normal ad from, say, Skånetrafiken, and it was ugly, you couldn't take it. You were sort of, I don't know, I don't understand that it was an ugly ad, but I wouldn't think that I have to call Skånetrafiken and tell them you have to change the app, because I can't stand it.
No, it does impact me on a deep level.
Yeah, I know. So you are, I think, but it's great. I think you really are.
I'm in the right profession. Let's say that.
Yes.
To beautify the world.
I think it's with passion around that. The world has to be a beautiful place, externally as well as internally, I guess.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And since Crunchfish, I've also worked quite a lot of like with preventative mental health, and also a lot with like inner work. And I'm now like Barcelona, I'm on my own spiritual journey now, like having
actually
beautiful experiences.
We haven't talked in a while, and but Petra, sort of your mother, my wife, she said Eleanor, she's on some sort of spiritual journey right now. She's developing. I'm dying. So yeah, you can tell it on tape. What's going on?
I'm meeting people who have similar spiritual capabilities as myself, because I have the ability to see energetic, like spirits or energies, like around people. So I'm meeting other people here who can also do that, which is really great, because sometimes I feel a little bit like a weirdo because not everyone can relate to this, but it's like, seeing vibrations around people, seeing colors around people. Like, I have a lot of animals that visit me in my meditations and give me messages, which is also really beautiful. So meeting others who also can do this, and also meeting others who are on a similar path where they want to understand the true nature of like reality and who you really are at the core, which I think is fascinating. So this is actually giving me so much for my work with Bright Act right now, to the extent that we're coming up with new solutions based on insights I have through my yoga.
Wow.
Like, I came up with an idea when I was in Shavasana. So, when you're lying down and like...
this is the rest pose, the
rest pose.
Pose, really.
Yeah.
Lying down.
Because I was seeing this like very beautiful, like almost like floating cloud-like world with like things popping up. And then I thought, in the app, we need to make one part that's more practical. So with these modules with information, so you can navigate society. But now we also want to build underneath it like a gamified dream world that represents your inner world, and that where you can go in to actually strengthen your self-esteem, go into like if you have anxiety, so you can breathe with the flower, or things like this. So we're also going to make this a beautiful dream world, which I think will be a great addition to the technology we're building.
Yeah.
So,
and your company, it's Bright Act, isn't it? brightact.org, is that what you have as website?
Yeah.
I think it's cool, super cool. I'm really proud, and I'm really happy for you that you found some sort of a thing where you can get all your talent, and then
this is gonna be so big. Like, I feel
I know.
Yeah.
It's
yeah. Sophie and I were just like almost like a married couple, Yes.
But it's funny that it's sort of in the COVID. When you had a hackathon, when was the hackathon? In what month?
In April.
April. You hadn't met Sophie at that point at all.
No, I met her first, I think, end of August.
Yeah.
And we started a company before meeting each other.
Yeah, that's modern. And she got this prize for the IT Woman of Sweden, didn't? And that's sort of a great achievement. I think.
She's very talented.
Making news. I think your little Bright Act thing.
Yeah,
so fantastic.
And now we were also like awarded like Digital Inspirations of the Year by IDG, and last year Karma won. The food waste app. Yeah,
it's very close to what we do. Karma, we're talking to them actually because we are addressing one of the UN sustainability goals, 12.3, which is reduce food waste. Right now in the world, we are throwing away 1/3 of all produced food. 1/3 is being thrown away. And EU has said that it needs to be halved by 2030. And this is an innovation of mine that I filed a patent for last year. And we got the patent this year. And we're running with it because it's a smart way of engaging all consumers, giving them an incentive for not actually always taking the product which has the longest expiry date. So if you take someone, because the problem is that everybody does that. You grab for the freshest one, but if you can get a big incentive, say that you get 50% discount if you take the one which has only, I think a lot of people will start rethinking, and we need that on a massive scale. So we automate that for an entire market, and I think that could contribute to helping with the environmental issues, and and we will save money for the consumer, save money for because the producers and the merchants, it's costly to throw away all these things, and logistic and all that.
I do think though that most food waste happens in the home, so it's more the behavior of people, because it is costly for the producer, so they are like aware of this and they try not to throw away. But of course it's good to work in all
I think
layers
goal is I agree with you, but I think it is all levels, producers in sort of in the trade as well, and then going home. I think the goal is to get it down to half, and it's a big ambition. And then you know, it's we are we are tackling that as well, sort of in our spare time.
That's good. I think Helsingborg is also working on a food waste project right now.
I know Cecilia Larsen, and you know, I just loved when, you know, we visit her with our tropical hats, this sort of network when we wear tropical hats and we do business safaris. And Cecilia, she did a great show of her, you know, she explained the company. And then before we went into the production, she said, you all know what we're doing now, don't you? And she said, save fruit, make juice. All right, let's go. So I just loved how he in 4 words, she could explain the entire entire sort of business idea. But I actually thought of that for food waste. And I think what we do, we rescue food and we provide POSA rewards. Point of sale rewards for rescuing food. So I actually thought of Cecilia, who is running the Helsingborg project for reducing food, and her great way of actually being able to capture it in just 4 words. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's good.
Now that's all great, Elinor. I have this as a sort of question. You as you see energy and you sort of it's a bit psychic. What's in the future for you think for the fish, for Crunchfish? What do you see for us? What do you see for our future?
What I think would be really interesting for Crunchfish, it might be a stretch goal, but I also like those. But I think a interesting future for Crunchfish would be to get operated into the actual OS, so into the operating system of phones, because I think that's when there's so much that could happen. And I would almost also make some of Crunchfish's technology open source, so you can also have other people come in and like innovate with it. So getting it into the OS and then opening it up so anyone can create their type of experience with the Crunchfish like technology, because you can focus on these 5 areas that you are right now, which is probably smart to do. But then if going forward like a few years, then I think that would be a very strong use case, because then you won't just be able to optimize which apps you have on the phone, which you currently can do, and you have more freedom if you have an Android to customize that, but you can actually then start customizing both the digital and the physical space around you. And for someone who like me, who is a bit OCD with these kind of things, like, you know how I color code my books, I color code my apps, and I like having my space in a particular way, and I like being in certain mental states throughout the day matched to the activities that I do. I would love something like this. So like connecting it then to smart homes, connecting it to like public transportation, connecting it could be any space really, where you are. Or like when I go to shops, like I hate shopping, like if people can just bring me what I want when I show up, great. Or like send it to me, like this is the type of shopping that I want.
But you hear, if you listen to yourself, Elinor, you are a little bit of an outlier person. Sort of people love shopping, and they are not calling Skånetrafiken if they see an ad that they find so we can't design the whole Crunchfish solution.
But this is also why I think it should be open source, because then everyone can make what they want for their context. And I think that's also an interesting like business model more for the future, where you actually collaborate with other people to do things.
Yeah.
So maybe this is what Drew should focus on with this nearby part, you know?
Tell him.
Yeah.
You have to, you have him on Facebook or whatever means you're communicating with. But I'll Drew actually, after our interview, when I just popped it to him, maybe you should work with this. He actually emailed me, I really want to do that. So I think it might become a reality with Drew, really. I think it's a good. Yeah. No, but that's great, Elinor. I think thanks for wanting to have this chat. Thanks for all the great thing you've done. We still internally or in eternity grateful for that you created that Crunchfish is not Nemo anymore. Because it was a clownfish before. Now it's sort of a more stylish sort of logo, and we're very proud of that. But it's and I will miss you for Christmas and New Year's, and I know you please come home soon. I'll miss you.
Maybe let's see how COVID develops. But or I have a better idea. I think you all should just come to Barcelona, because here it's nice. I think this is the way to go. Come here.
Right. I'm sure my wife, who loves warm weather,
my mom would jump on a plane the next day.
You see, she will tell me when we book the tickets. Yeah. To go,
exactly. Yeah. But
we'll take you up on that. But no, thanks so much for the time, and have a lovely time in Barcelona, and good luck with all the great things that you're doing, and all my best to Sophie as well, and keep doing great things for the world. Really, it's great.
Thank you, and let's hope Annie Lööf calls us.
I'll send her the video.
I was like, yes, we really want to talk to Annie. I like her.
Mikael Kretz and we met Annie in Berlin, and I actually been chatting with her since, and I think she's now focusing on domestic value. And I said, tech against abuse that you do, having a technology platform for it. I think that could make a difference for many people through the scalability of tech. So I'm sure she will. I'll send her this. Believe me. Oh, that's good, Ellie. So take care then, and have a good one.
Take care. Thank you for having me part of it.
Love you. Okay.
Love you too. Bye.